I live in the world's largest and wildest wetland, right here in Brazil, and it's called the Pantanal. There aren't any high-rise buildings or paved motorways here, just dirt roads and lots of wooden bridges. But the easiest way to get around this place is by boat. My name is Aerenilso, and the Pantanal is my home, where we fish in the rivers and raise our cows. And it's the jaguars' home, too. Jaguars and all the other wild animals have lived here even longer than we have, but we all share the grasslands, forests, and rivers and live together in the Pantanal. I love being on the river and feeling the wind on my face and sunlight sparkling on the water. People come from all over the world to see this place, and I tell them that this is my home, that this is my Pantanal. Living on a farm, we all wake up with the sun, the cows, horses, birds, and me. Sometimes it's hard getting up, but no one is allowed to be lazy.
Acorda, Gui! Vem comer!
There's just too much to do.
Tá pronto, pessoal. Tô na mesa.
Breakfast is my favorite meal. We eat cassava and beef to fill us up for a hard day's work. That's my dad. He's the foreman. He's important. And when he tells everyone what to do, we do it. And he's told me it's time to do my chores. My friends and I help take care of some of the animals on the farm, milking cows, feeding baby goats, corralling horses, and feeding the chickens. I love when I get to ride my horse and help with the roundup. I call my horse Old Man because he has white whiskers and sometimes he's stubborn. But he's always sure-footed, and sometimes I catch him looking back at me as if to ask if I'm okay. After the roundup, Old Man deserves a bath.
Lovely, do outro lado.
It's important I take care of Old Man because a cowboy's nothing without a good horse.
Agora eu tenho cavalo bem limpo.
And while most of my chores are done now, the cowboys keep working. They work all day until the sun goes down, out on their horses, herding cattle, finding shade under the trees, riding through the Pantanal. There are over 1,000 cattle ranches in the Pantanal, and we're just one of them. Our cows help feed Brazil and are shipped to countries all over the world. My dad is a Pantaneiro, and so am I. My dad tells me we've been here for hundreds of years, and one day there'll even be a school here, so I'll never have to leave, and I can stay here for the rest of my life. When I grow up, I want to be just like my dad and take care of a ranch like this one. I want to be a real Pantaneiro.
Ele é Pantaneiro.
And real Pantaneiros are explorers, too. There's more than just cows and horses in the Pantanal. The forests, pastures, and rivers are filled with other animals. And when my work is done, I like to play with my friends and go in search of all the things living in this place. Skimmers, kingfisher, giant otters, caiman, toucan, howler monkeys, hawks, anaconda, piranha, capybara, and the jaguar. For many years, jaguars have been hunted by people who are trying to protect their cows. But here, we are seeing them more and more. Sometimes I see them resting along the riverbanks or swimming in the river. It's hard to see jaguars. With their spotted coats, they melt into their surroundings. Sometimes I think they must be watching us, even though we can't see them. I've heard stories about the jaguar. that he lives on the ground, but he can touch the stars, and he can talk to the spirits of earth and sky. Some call him the master of fire because he taught humans the magic of fire. Others have said how the jaguar was made from mud. But I believe he's real, just like us, made of bones, fur, and muscle. He sleeps when he's tired and eats when he's hungry. He dips in the river when he gets too hot. We may not always see him, but he leaves behind his footprints, signs that tell us he's nearby, that he's living here on our ranch. I don't live on just any cattle ranch. I live on a conservation ranch, a place where jaguars and other wildlife live too, where they aren't hunted and they are all safe. This makes our ranch special. We try to keep our cows safe too, from floods, drought, bugs, and from the jaguar. When I'm older, I'd like to ride around to the other ranches here and tell them how they can protect their cows and that all the wild animals can live on their ranches too, just like ours. This is Joaquin. He's the ranch manager. He runs this ranch and everyone on it.
Bem-vindo a São Bento, do coração do Pantanal.
This is Ronaldo. He's a wildlife veterinarian. The Pantaneiros and the scientists are all working together because the Pantanal needs cows and jaguars. We are all learning about the jaguar, where it lives, what it needs for food, and how to stop the jaguars from eating our cows. To catch a jaguar, they use a trap that doesn't cause any harm. But he's not a jaguar. So we'll set the trap again, and now we wait. Traps are set at night because that's when the jaguar comes out to hunt. When the jaguar is caught, he lies down, unharmed, and waits, with eyes wide open, staring through the dark. The scientists dart the jaguar, which makes him fall asleep. They measure the jaguar's paw to see how big it is. They listen to his heart, give him some medicine, and put a radio collar on him so they know where he goes, what he does, so he can share his secret world and help us to better protect him. They watch over the jaguar until he wakes, and when he does, quietly, he disappears back into the night. Traveling down the river, around the bend, we see a jaguar lounging in the shade along the river, and I try to memorize the spots on his fur. I trace the shape of his ears and the markings on his face. I'd like to think that I could recognize him when I see him again and again. It's another day on our ranch in the Pantanal, and sometimes, even before breakfast, if I'm lucky, my dad will ask me to go for a ride. We may not say a word, but he rides alongside me, and we watch together as the sun rises, as everything starts to wake up, and I tell myself that here, where the jaguars roam, that this place is my home. It's who I am. This is my Pantanal.